Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are continuing with Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter number 18, text number 58. Machita sarva durgani mat prasadat tarishyasi astachitvam ahankaran nashroshyasi vinankshasi. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. If you become conscious of me, you will pass over all the obstacles of conditioned life by my grace. If, however, you do not work in such consciousness, but act through false ego, not hearing me, you will be lost. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Such a very, very important verse. It is giving us a formula by which we can get rid of all our anxieties, our all things that come in the way of our bhakti yoga, obstacles, everything. And he gives us knowledge about the other side of the coin, which is if you do not follow my instructions, he says you will be lost. Now, that doesn't mean that we will be lost, like we won't be able to find a house or family or anything. No. Lost means we will get lost in this conditioned material world, which means we will again come back into the cycle of birth and death. So, here this verse is giving us a formula how we can cross over all obstacles in life. How? By following instructions of Bhagavad Gita and becoming conscious of Krishna. Very, very important. Because right now, most people are conscious about their body, mostly about themselves, about their family, about their job, society, etc. But rarely anyone really endeavors to be conscious of the Supreme Lord. And how do we become conscious? By doing mantra meditation on a daily basis. We chant the holy names because there is no difference between Krishna and his holy names. And Krishna says if we don't follow his instructions, then we will be lost. And he gives a reason why. Because of false ego. And because of false ego, one is not hearing about Krishna, not hearing what he is telling us in the Bhagavad Gita, and that makes someone really get lost in this material world. Now, I've already explained before the difference between false ego and real ego. False ego is when we think I am this body. Real ego is when I think I am the spirit soul, part of the Lord. So it's very important that we become not only conscious of Krishna, but fully conscious of Him. And only then we will become free from anxiety. Then, even though we are living in this material world, it'll appear to us like Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha means no anxiety at all. So that is what it means becoming conscious of Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada explains that once we start becoming conscious of Krishna, he becomes our intimate friend and then he protects us. Krishna protects all, but he gives special care to his surrendered devotees. You see, because the devotees, they have understood the Bhagavad Gita and they realize that they are not this body, so they are not on the bodily concept of life and they don't get carried away by the concept of this body. They very clearly understand I am not this body, but the spirit soul. That is actually the foundational knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. First of all, to understand, I am not this body. Unfortunately, most people in this world, they think I am independent. I can do whatever I want. Well, we cannot even control the parts of our body. When we fall sick, can we control? If we are independent, then we should never fall sick. We should never grow old. No. But devotees, they understand we are not independent at all. We are bound by the modes of material nature, either goodness, passion, or ignorance. And we are also bound up by our past karma. All the actions that we have performed, whether good or bad, now we are reaping the fruits of our actions. So we are not free to act. We are not independent. We are bound by modes and our past karma. But Krishna says that when we start understanding Bhagavad Gita and putting it into practice, then there will be no entanglement. Then we'll become free, and that will be a state of liberation, free from all anxieties, free from all perplexities of life, free from obstacles in life. Now, when we say free from obstacles, doesn't mean obstacles will not come. They will come because of our past karma. But by understanding Bhagavad Gita and putting it into practice, we will have the spiritual strength to overcome all those obstacles of life. And for that, we need guidance. Just like in any aspect of life, anything that we want to learn, we need a teacher. So also in spirituality, we need a guru who can guide us. Of course, Krishna is there within the heart as a super soul guiding us. But we also need a guru. So he is within. We also need a guru without, outside also. Now, Krishna is telling Arjuna in these few verses that if you do not act as per my instructions, as per my direction, and if you do not fight, then you will be falsely directed. Very clearly he says, you see, because he says, Arjuna, you are a kshatriya, a warrior, you are a military man. So it is natural for you to engage in war. That is your nature. You're a soldier. You see, he tells Arjuna, you're born with that nature because you're born as a kshatriya. So fighting is your natural duty. But due to false ego, you are afraid to fight. You don't want to kill your relatives. Of course, no one wants to kill their relatives. In fact, no one wants to kill anybody. But here, Arjuna is a soldier. He is in the battlefield, and that is his job. His nature is to fight. So, if Arjuna is thinking, oh no, I'm the master of all my actions, I'm independent, I'm going to decide what needs to be done, what is right, what is wrong, not listening to what Krishna has to say on the battlefield. Well, why did that happen? Because for some time Arjuna forgot that Krishna is the Supreme Lord and he's present right in front of him, guiding him. See, he forgot. That is our problem. Forgetfulness of the Supreme Lord is our problem. And it is very dangerous. And that is why every class I insist that we should do mantra meditation because that helps us to remember Krishna. When we chant every day, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, that changes our consciousness. It helps us to connect with Krishna because that is the telephone number of Krishna, right? When we dial a phone number, we immediately connect to that person whom we want to talk to. So here, this chanting is the telephone number which connects us to the Supreme Lord. You see, that helps us to change our consciousness. And once our consciousness is changed, And then is when we will be able to overcome the obstacles in life. So, for that, chanting and hearing is very important. And that's what we do every Sunday. We hear from the Bhagavad Gita. But very important point to remember is by chanting and hearing, it doesn't mean there'll be no obstacles. Sometimes people come up to me and say, "Hey, you told me to chant. I've been chanting for such a long time, but I still have so many problems." Problems are not going to go away. That's our past karma. But because we have knowledge, we know how to overcome them. As I mentioned, Krishna gives us the spiritual strength to overcome these obstacles in life. So best thing is to take direction from the Supreme Lord through the Bhagavad Gita. Take guidance also from our Guru. That will keep us safe in all circumstances, right? See, Arjuna, he was under the illusion because of false ego, thinking I am the controller, I'm the one who's going to decide, and he was not fighting. And Krishna told him that because of that illusion, you're declining to fight. You're not following my direction. I told you to fight because that's your nature. That's your prescribed duty, but you're not doing it. You're not following. But guess what? You will be compelled to fight anyway. Why? Because that is your nature. Just like there is a thief. The thief may say, "Oh no, I'm not going to steal anything today. I'm going to control myself," but will anyway go and steal because that's the nature. I remember hearing one story. There was a beggar, and she was very, very poor, of course, so she used to beg. And then there was another beggar. He also used to steal every day, and they both saw that they both were begging at that same area, same where there is a traffic light. They are both begging at the same place, and gradually they became friends, and they fell in love, both the beggars, and so they decided to get married. But even after marriage, they continued to beg because that was in their nature. They had conditioned themselves to beg. After a year, a child was born. Now, when the child was born, the parents were a little concerned because the child had closed the fist, was not opening the fist. The other hand was, open, but here this one was tight. And they thought something is wrong with our child. Why is it that the child is not opening? Maybe it's some defect in the body of the child. They were very concerned. At that time, they called a saintly person and said, "Can you please help us?" When we have obstacles, who do we think of? God. Or we think of, devotees or saintly people or sadhus. So the saintly person understood. He understood the nature of the parents, and guess what? Whatever is the nature of the parents, the children automatically get that nature. Of course, it's their past karma also. So, what the saintly man did, he had a gold chain with a diamond locket on it, and he brought it near the child, and he started showing the child that diamond necklace, and when he did that, immediately the child opened the hand to grab that chain and the diamond locket. And guess what? From the hand came out a gold chain, which was inside, which he was holding on so tight. What was that chain? That was the chain of the nurse at the time of delivery. When the child was coming out, he snatched the chain of the nurse and held it tight. See the nature. He was already a thief before he was even born. He was holding on. But when there was greed of a diamond, he immediately gave up the gold chain and wanted that diamond. That is nature. It is very difficult to change nature until and unless we take guidance from the Bhagavad Gita. And Krishna says, if person does not follow my instructions, my directions, he tells Arjuna, you'll be compelled to act under those circumstances because you are operating in the different modes of material nature. So it's better that we voluntarily accept Krishna's instructions and then easily overcome the obstacles in our lives. I don't think there is anybody in this material world who does not have any obstacles. Do you all have obstacles? Of course, we all do. That's part of life. That's part of being in this material world. But here Krishna is giving us a formula by which we can overcome these obstacles in our lives. It becomes easy. Why? Because of knowledge. Krishna says, Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam. I am situated in everyone's heart and I'm directing the wanderings of all living entities. I am guiding, I am sanctioning, I am the witness. But we need to understand that we are not super knowers. People say, I know it all. Is that true? No. Arjuna also thought he is a super knower. He knows everything. He knows when to fight, when not to fight. Nope. Krishna is a super knower. And that is why he's in the heart of every living entity, guiding us from within the heart. But then again, we have a choice whether we want to listen to him or we do not. And those who do not hear him or follow his instructions, they keep coming back into this material world. And when we keep coming back, we change bodies. This life, I have this body. Previous life, I had another body. Next life, I don't know what it's going to be. So when we change bodies, we forget the past life. We forget all the deeds that we have done, all the actions we've performed, whether good or bad. But guess what? Krishna, as the super soul, knows it all. We forget, but he does not forget our past. Why? Because he witnesses everything. So that is why whatever we get in this world is our own karma. Whatever actions we perform, whatever we deserve, he gives it to us. He only sanctions it. You see, why is it that we get a particular type of body in a particular family, in a particular country? Because of past karma. So our karma is coming with us from one body to another, and yet we think, I'm independent. And most people think we are independent of even the Supreme Lord. No. Because we are, like Krishna says, even when he came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 500 years ago, he said, Jivera Swarupoy Krishnera Nitya Das. Nitya means eternal. Das means servant. So our Swarup, our constitutional position is to be the eternal servant of Krishna. That is our position, you see. So if we think that I am independent, then that would be, we call it foolish. Krishna is asking Arjuna, you please listen to me, follow my direction, surrender unto me. And he even tells him the consequence. He says the result will be, you will get transcendental peace. Not material peace that we experience in this material world. Peace, sometimes we are peaceful, sometimes we are not peaceful, which means it's temporary. But here Krishna is talking about transcendental peace, which is everlasting. And not only that, he says, Arjuna, if you surrender unto me, you will also achieve the supreme eternal abode, which is Krishna Loka or Vaikuntha or Goloka. And what is the benefit of going to the spiritual world? There is no birth, no disease, no old age, no death, no miseries, no obstacles, no anxieties. Do you want to go there? If the answer is yes, then we need to follow the directions of Bhagavad Gita. If the answer is no, good luck, because we don't know which body we will get in the next life. Now, the big question is, what does surrender mean? It's a very heavy word, right? If someone comes and say, boy and girl have just got married, and the husband on the very first day tells the wife, surrender unto me. She's going to run away, say, excuse me, I don't surrender to anybody. Why should I surrender to you? Because surrender, we think, is a not so good word. But when it comes to spirituality, it's the means for liberation. What does surrender mean? Following the instructions of the Bhagavad Gita, taking the guidance from Bhagavad Gita. You see, as soon as a person makes the choice, I want to surrender, Krishna helps. He says, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam tatheva bhajamiham. Mama vartamanu vartante manushya parsa sarvashaha. He says, as one surrenders unto me, I reward them accordingly. And he also says, everyone has to follow my path. Sarvashaha, everybody, either now or later on. Right? So it depends on the degree of surrender. Based on that, we get the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Krishna sees how are we endeavoring. Is it with sincerity? Are we seriously endeavoring? Then he makes sure he relieves us from miseries. He helps us in crossing over all the obstacles in life. And what is the final destination? The spiritual world. He helps us to reach his eternal abode, which is Krishna Loka. Now, in the 15th chapter, we had learned a very beautiful verse, which is my favorite, 15th chapter, verse number 15. Sarvasya chaham hridi sanivishto mataha smritir jnanam apohanam cha vedescha sarver aham eva vedyo vedanta krit vedavid eva chaham. Krishna says, I am situated in everyone's heart, and from me comes knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness. So he is giving us three options, guiding us from within, and three options. What? Knowledge, forgetfulness, and also what? Remembrance. Three. We choose. And based on our choice, then we face the consequences. If we choose to forget, Krishna will say, I bless you, forget me. But if we have a desire to remember him, then Krishna also blesses us accordingly. You see? So he is there to help us, but the first step has to be taken by us. We choose. He does not interfere with our minute independence. You see, we have that minute independence. Otherwise, sometimes people say, well, Krishna is God. He can force us to love him. Would that be true love? No. Husband cannot put a gun, on the wife's head and say, love me, otherwise I'll shoot you. No. She says, oh, yeah, 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 I love you, I love you. But is that love? No, that is fear. Out of fear, she's saying yes. So Krishna wants us to love him out of our own free will and free choice. No force. So we have to take that first step. So Krishna says, Arjuna, I have explained to you more confidential knowledge. Now, deliberate on this fully. He's asking Arjuna to deliberate, to contemplate, to think fully. And then he says, do as you wish to do. Krishna didn't stand there, and tell Arjuna, okay, I've given you all this knowledge, you better follow it, otherwise I'll shoot you. No, he says, do as you wish. I've given you knowledge. That means Bhagavad Gita is not based on blind faith. It is based on knowledge. You see? So when Krishna said, this is a verse in the Bhagavad Gita 18th chapter, that you do as you wish. Whatever you wish, you do. Now, some people read only this verse of the Bhagavad Gita and say, Krishna said, do as you wish. So I'm going to do whatever I wish to do. I'm going to, drink a lot. I'm going to do this and I'm going to sin and I'm going to steal. No, that's not what he meant. He said, first you listen to Bhagavad Gita, contemplate on it, deliberate on it fully, then you do what you wish to do. And if someone has actually understood the Bhagavad Gita, will follow the Bhagavad Gita as it is. You see? So no point in just reading that one verse. Then they say, oh, Krishna gave us permission, so we can do as we like. No. Do as you wish means Krishna is showing us you are independent, you are an individual identity, you have a freedom of choice, you can choose whatever you want. So he is giving us independence. So we need to decide if we want to surrender to him or not. There is no interference, there is no force from Krishna. But still, He's there to guide us. He's guiding us how to elevate ourselves, how to elevate our consciousness, how to surrender, how to act properly, do the right thing, understand, discriminate between right and wrong. You see, that is why Krishna is telling Arjuna, you deliberate. Here is the knowledge. I'm telling you, if you do this, this is the consequence. Now you decide what you want to do. So, those who are intelligent, you see, we human beings, we have got philosophical intelligence by which we can discriminate, we can deliberate. And if we are confused, we can get guidance from a guru and then make the right choice. That is why guru is very essential in our lives, someone who can show us the right path. So, only when a person is sincere and serious on this path of Bhakti Yoga, then Krishna will automatically arrange a guru in our lives who can guide us spiritually. So, Bhagavad Gita is teaching us how we can become fully conscious of Krishna so that we can overcome all obstacles in our lives. And what will be the end result? We lead a peaceful life. You see, no one likes anxiety, no one likes distress, no one likes miseries or obstacles. Well, if you don't like it, here is a solution given to us in 18th chapter. Krishna is teaching us how to be joyful, how to be peaceful, how to overcome anxieties and obstacles in life. And it starts with mantra meditation, chanting the holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This is how we can become fully conscious of the Supreme Lord Krishna. You see, how many days? Just a few days are left in 2025, right? So 28, today's 28, 29, 30, 30, only 3 days. Only 3 days, and then will be a new year, 2026. Whenever a new year is approaching, what do people do? They make New Year resolutions, right? Of course, then they break it the next day. That's another part. But at least they contemplate, they deliberate on New Year resolutions. So I'm going to exercise and I'm going to do this and I'm going to, make more money and I'm so many resolutions. But what about spiritual resolutions, right? We should also think about spiritual resolutions and deliberate and think, this whole 2025, what did I do spiritually? Did I make any progress? If not, let me make a spiritual resolution that in this 2026 new year, I'm going to do this, this, and this so that I can become more conscious of Krishna. So it's a good time to think about New Year spiritual resolutions, not just material. Okay, sure, if we want to have material resolutions, that's also good. But we must have spiritual resolutions also. Very, very important, because it's only these spiritual resolutions that are going to help us to cross over the obstacles in life. So I have completed up to, let's see, verse number 63. Yes, from 58 to 63. So I'm going to end now. If anyone has any questions or comments,